Hey guys, welcome to Show 2.0. We're here today, episode 2. A little hectic. We got the babies running around. You can hear them in the back right there.
Yeah, they're a little loud, but that's okay.
So we just came back from behind this curtain where we just watched our movie today. Do you want to tell them about it?
Oh, sure. It's Blood Simple. I think the first movie directed by the Coen Brothers, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
They're one of my favorite directors. They did No Country for Old Men. They did Oh Brother Where Art Thou. A bunch of other movies which I really like.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found this movie just by going through their catalog because I was like, I just wanted more, you know.
Yeah.
And I found this, and I had to get the Criterion Deluxe Blu-ray.
It's a nice Blu-ray, if you can see it. It's a very great scene from the movie.
Yeah.
In this thing, I don't know if you can actually see it behind the dogs.
Behind the dogs.
But it is a very nice case, as you can see right here.
Yeah, and the thing is with this movie, really simple movie. 4 main characters, three or so locations.
Yeah.
Right. And you could tell that they had a lower budget because this was their first movie they made, but like they really use it really smart. Like the writing is really smart in this movie. It's just like the way it's compact into this multi-way like misunderstanding basically.
Yeah, the whole movie is kind of it starts off simple, and as it goes on, it does turn into like this enveloped, twisted like everybody thinks something differently.
Exactly.
Of all the 4 characters, like they all think something different.
Exactly. That's kind of like the smart thing. It's like I don't know if you've ever seen Rashomon. It's Rashomon. It's like it's a Japanese film. And
no,
anyway, it's hoodwinked basically. But
okay.
These 3
a
characters.
Classic.
These 3 characters tell the same story, but it's from their different perspectives, so it's completely different.
Right.
And that's how I feel if this movie, Blood Simple, were like if the characters would tell the story of what's going on, you would have 4 different different movies.
Yeah, there's actually points in the movie, and I like this about the movie. The characters are very silent, so there's a lot of scenes where they will have their own interpretation of what's happening, you know, and they see certain things we can't really say without getting too far into spoilers. So
Yeah.
we'll have to segment it for you guys, but we'll let you know. But without going into it so far, you'll see in this movie that like a character will witness something that has already been related back to one of the 4 characters, and they have their own interpretation of what happened, which ends up being completely separate from, well, at least just a part of the overall whole story. And no one's really relaying the information properly to each other.
No, like it's also one of those movies where I guess this could be a flaw if you. It's not a flaw, but like if you're a nitpicker, you could be like, well, it would have been over in 2 minutes if one of them talked to one another.
Yeah.
They would have solved all their problems. But the point is that they don't. You know, they keep everyone out of the loop. So you have this kind of twisted tale of murder and deception.
There was a point midway through the movie or something, towards where the cover of the DVD Blu-ray is about. But I looked over at you and I was like, I love how non-dialogue-y this movie is. I didn't know how to describe it. Like there's so little dialogue, but at the same time, the characters the characters display everything that you need to know. Sorry, the thought got a little muddled there.
That's okay.
But
I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
The fact that there's so little dialogue, it makes it. In fact, coupled with the cinematography, which is really good in this movie, especially for like this first time movie, it's so hazy and like neon, and it's got all this kind of this look of the 80s.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe, but it feels like almost even further in the past because they talk about money in this movie, and it seems like even further than the 80s, just the way they talk about money and some other things. But
this movie definitely took place at a time when forensics wasn't where it is now. Because there's some points where I literally like was face palming because I was just like, no.
Some clumsy work on the behalf of the the in-universe characters.
Yeah.
But
one thing I wanted to bring up with you though, now that we have the dogs out, is
put them down.
No, no dogs were harmed in the filming of this podcast. Okay, but the one thing I wanted to to say was like the dialogue, how there was like almost like no dialogue throughout a lot of like the heavy portions of like the story, or the inciting incidents and stuff. Like all the major scenes, there was a lot of just dead air, which I felt really helped the scenes because it was like very tense.
Nice, slow, meticulous actions. Like it's a lot of really focused scenes where it's just like, okay, we get in, the character does what they need to do, and it's just this ambience and this atmosphere that's really, really nice over the whole movie. It's hard to describe. It's kind of
the way they do it with no dialogue is they show you just enough, and then like you already know the story and you're watching it go down. So even though the characters, it works to the benefit of the story where the characters don't know each other's perspective, because all you're, as long as you're following along with their story, you're aware. So you don't need to have the dialogue explained between the characters, which it works perfect. It's like this great combination of no dialogue and beautiful shots with like these long, like you said, slow motions. It's great. I really love how they did it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. It became one of my favorites of their movies, which is unfortunate because it's like I feel like nobody knows about this movie compared to like all their other stuff.
Yeah, I had never heard of it ever.
Yeah, so it's an underrated gem, as they say.
This is a gem. This will get the definite gem rating. Yeah. This is a gem, guys. I definitely think they should check this one out. I don't know if you want to get into spoilers just yet, or if...
Yeah, we'll get into spoilers.
Because after this point, guys, you should check it out. It's a gem. Trust us, it's a gem.
Trust us.
Yeah, if you don't, though, we're gonna butcher it and spoil it, because we can't do the justice that the movie does, because it really is a great thing. So here, it's easier to explain it now. The movie is about a murder, I guess, right?
It's a murder for hire. It's about so we have Marty. He's our main cuck, if you will.
Yeah, this guy is. I started to feel bad for him throughout the movie, because just everything seems to go horribly for this guy. It starts out.
His wife, Abby, I think it was.
Yeah, Abby and Marty they have a horrible divorce, and it starts off with this car scene, and you're introduced to Clay was the main character, or what's his name?
Ray. So, is the main character.
The opening scene with Ray and Abby. They're driving, and they're kind of just discussing the relationship between Marty and Abby, and Ray mentions that he likes her in the car ride, and then she knows what she has to do after that. So they immediately get to Pound Town.
They do.
But little do they know that a private eye that was hired by Marty had secretly been taking pictures and had followed them.
Yeah, so basically it starts off with this reveal that Marty's wife is cheating on him with Ray, and Marty knows because Marty has got the private eye to track him down and stuff. So it starts off with this, what do you call it, adultery kind of story. And then it turns a bit more south as Marty goes to kill the woman, Abby, right?
Yeah, Marty goes and he wants to. Well, he finds he goes straight to their house.
He goes to attack her at least. We don't know if he was trying to kill her, but he goes to their house and with his dog. Remember?
Yeah, he shows up with his dog, who's I think vacant from the rest of the movie. I think the dog just kind of does its own thing. That's a whole side plot that we don't get to see.
That probably got cut.
But he shows up with the dog, and we believe have intention to kill her or do some sort of
scare her.
Yeah, damage.
Something.
He sees that she takes his gun, right? That the gun initially that Abby has is from Marty's closet, I believe, right?
I don't remember that part, to be honest.
There was a scene early on, and I thought that was what was implied, because then when he saw the gun, he was like, "Let's do this outside," and like implying that he was going to kill her on like the lawn or something, because he kind of just goes out into the front lawn and he like drags her out.
Yeah.
But she's able to, and this is what you should do if you're ever getting choked, is pull back the finger of the person if you can get a hold of.
Oh, she bites it.
Oh, she bites it? I saw, no, because they pull back the finger and he has the cast on it.
Right, but I think I vaguely remember her biting. But I mean, pull up the footage.
But anyway, So Marty takes Abby out, and there's this conflict, and Ray comes out, and basically after Abby either breaks or subdues him for biting or breaking his finger, she kicks him in the gonads, the balls, the old cojones.
Yes.
And Marty pukes all over the lawn.
And that's when Ray comes home, and then Marty runs off with his dog.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, he just kind of is like, he gets cucked out, and he just is like, all right, and he just leaves without saying anything.
He cucks out and fucks out. So he got
cheated on. Well, it's implied multiple times. He has like evidence probably. Then he tries to go and confront or do something with Abby to get back at her, and gets his finger broken and his balls punched, and drives off as his not ex-wife, but his disgraced wife. I don't know what you call it. His defiled wife. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. Her and Ray just watch as he doesn't just drive away, because they're on
they're in a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, so he has to go around, and I think he gives him the finger on the way over, which is like taking it from like, I'm breaking in, maybe going to like attack you or kill you, to just like, hey, fuck you, like holding his finger.
Yeah,
it was a really great scene. That was a great moment in the film.
Yeah, and so after that we get to. Goes back to hire the private eye to go kill the two of them. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the private eye, I don't remember the actor's name who played him, but he is so good in this movie. He's like
crazy good.
He's like this. You don't know what he's gonna do, kind of thing, because he's always smiling and kind of jovial. Yeah. But then he's doing like these nasty little things.
Okay, so this character, the PI, the guy who is hired by Marty, is like. He's an insane actor, but he doesn't look like he would be a private eye or a hitman.
No.
Because Marty ends up hiring the private eye to kill the
Well, he's dressed like a cowboy.
Yeah, he's dressed like a cowboy, loves to laugh at everything that he says. Like, literally, in the first scene, he thinks that he's going to die because Marty's, like, doing, like, this tough guy routine with him. And it's a lot of suspense. And he's just nonstop, even if he was actually going to die in that moment, just constantly laughing at his own jokes. And they're not the best jokes. It's pretty funny.
Creighton, I hope your wife really loves you, because for the next 5 weeks, you can't even wipe your own goddamn hat. That's a test, ain't it? Test of true love.
I got a job for you.
Well.
He's that one guy who's just always laughing at himself, and it's just not working.
Yeah, but it makes it so uncomfortable in his scenes, because like there's always this tension in every scene, and there's suspense and tension. It really works to build up that atmosphere that you don't know what's going to happen next. And one of my favorite things about the movie. They build up the incinerator, and it never gets used. Yeah. I love that. I don't know why, because it's like, it seems like the complete opposite of what you should do in anything. Like, if you show something, you should use it. Most of the time, that's Chekhov's gun, I think. If you show a gun, yes, show it shooting at some point.
Right.
But they use the incinerator to throw away some old bloody clothes. But you think the whole time they're going to use it.
They keep cutting back and forth. Behind the bar that Marty owns, there's a... Marty owns a bar, I guess we should have established.
It doesn't matter.
But there's this big furnace, that is always like shown, and there's like a slow scene when... Well, I guess we haven't gotten to it, but there's a scene where Ray finds Marty's dead body. I guess we're really getting ahead of ourselves. We should explain first.
Well, okay, so the private eye puts them all through a ruse. He takes... Well, we find out this throughout the movie, but he takes photographs of the two of them sleeping, and doesn't kill them. He doctors the photos to make it look like they have gunshots in them. And then he goes back to Marty, gets his money, and kills Marty, and takes the money and runs. So instead of being hitman for hire, he turned it into a random murder that no one would be able to solve, basically. Mm-hmm. Like no one, like it would never connect to him. It was basically the perfect crime until we have it be discovered
Yeah, that Marty slides one of the pictures that was doctored. He saves it in the safe after the last conversation that Marty has with the PI. So it's not known until later, and it comes up when I think it's Ray opens the safe.
Yeah, he opens the safe later when because there's another thing where the PI is trying to break into the safe because he left his lighter behind. Then he was trying to find it in the safe. I think that's what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's trying to look for the doctored photos, the doctored photo he left behind because he finds the sheet in there that was the no parking at any time. It was wash your hands. It was a wash your hands sign that he slipped in there instead of the last photo. Ray discovers the body. He goes to get rid of it. At first, we don't really know why. I suspect because he's like the only person who would have done this, kind of thing. He's the only suspect.
Yeah, they set it up where like everybody who comes in and sees like what had previously happened, they're just like, what is going on, and they piece it together where they think something else of the other character.
Yeah,
like, they don't ever know each other's true intentions, and it's never really revealed.
He thinks the woman went to kill her because he finds her gun.
Yeah.
So he thinks the woman went to kill him.
So then he's like, "Oh, I need to clean this." When Ray discovers,
I need to clean.
Yeah, there's a scene when Ray discovers Marty's body that the PI kills. He goes in and he just starts cleaning, and I was very confused. I was just like, "What are you doing? Like, you're getting your hands all over the blood."
Yeah.
And it took me a little bit before I realized, like, oh, he knows that it's her gun. So then he's like, I was temporarily just stupid.
We don't
and
learn
until
until later that it's information economy, I like to call it.
Mm-hmm.
In a script, there's like certain times where you're supposed to give the audience information, and other times where you're supposed to hold it back. That's the information economy, at least what I like to call it. So this movie really knows when to hold back information to keep you in suspense and this tension of not knowing quite what's going on, and then suddenly it gives you the information right at the right time,
Right.
and it kind of all clicks. And I don't know, the movie has this amazing final confrontation between the PI and the woman, Abby, I think. And it's in the penthouse.
Yeah, there's like I guess they go there after for safe location.
Yeah,
after they figure out stuff's going on.
Yeah, and I don't know. There's the way it's shot, like the way it folds out, like it's so great.
Yeah, I didn't.
Loved it.
I didn't really fully get to finish my thought, but what I wanted to say about this private investigator guy is he does. What I wanted to say is he looks like this fat, blubbering, like slob cowboy, but he's like unstoppable like the Terminator. It's like insane.
Yeah,
this guy gets stabbed through the hand, shot, and his head smashed against a window or something, and he's still like laughing at his very like dying breath, like he's just
his final breath was one of laughter. It was great.
The character reminds me a little bit of.
He punches through the wall.
Oh yeah, that's when I was like, okay, he's like Cybertronic or something. He has like some sort of like.
That would have been great.
Like he just would not stop. He had his hand stabbed and he was kind of just like bleeding out, pulling it. I can only imagine like all like the pain, but he is shooting out like the wall, and then it took me a minute to even realize what he was doing. I was like, there's no way this fat dude who we didn't even mention. So this guy is hired by Marty, to kill Abby and Ray, but he does it for $10,000, which is not that much money. No. I guess it was back then, but
but that's
$10,000 is like not that.
That's what I was even thinking in the back of my head. Like even in '86, $10,000, I don't think would have been that much. I pull up the facts
for one person.
Pull up the facts.
I'm no mathematician or math genius, but I'm pretty sure 10 divided by 2 is $5,000 each. That's $5,000 for one person. Even 10 grand back then is like, that's really like low. So I don't know what this guy's like. I think he like he wants to do bad things. The private investigator is like, he really has no morals throughout the film.
That's another good point. Is like the Ray, he has to get rid of the body, and it turns out Marty's still alive, and he has to finish him off.
He wants to cover up for who he thinks Abby did it.
Yeah, but Ray, he you could tell he's hesitating. He's not like eager to, like, he has that opportunity to hit him with the shovel, and then he hesitates. And
Ray's a good guy. Yeah, I think he only went along with it, and I didn't, because like I said, I was freaking out when he started cleaning up the blood and everything because he was making a mess, and I was like, why the fuck? Why is he doing this?
Yeah.
But he wants to protect Abby and everything, but you can tell that he would not be a character to really do that. It shows his true intentions when there's a scene when he has the shovel above Marty. The scene right here actually. Marty is like surprisingly survived a gunshot through the chest, and he's like managing to like scurry away very slowly, and Ray is just like standing there. He has the shovel above him. He's like, I want to kill him, and he's like, he knows Marty's not a good person, but he feels for him in the moment, and he's just like, I can't do it. And then I guess he panics because there's a truck that goes down the road, and then he's like, I gotta get him back in. So he, instead of hitting him over the head, what I thought was going to happen was he was going to flip him over and pretend that he was having sex with him. And then
I kind of thought that. I've seen it before, but I kind of thought that too.
And it's not that kind of movie where they would like put that in, but for some reason midway through I was like, maybe he's going to try and like pretend to have sex with this guy. But he throws him in the car, and the truck just barely misses him. This big 18-wheeler, 16-wheeler comes barreling like past Ray.
I know, you even commented during the movie.
Yeah,
that, like,
he throws him in the car,
of a driver.
And then immediately he goes on top of his own car, and it's like right past. I was like, he had 2 lanes.
What
that trucker went. He's just a dick.
What an asshole.
Yeah, that guy might have been the second most evil villain, I guess.
The second?
Yeah, compared to the private investigator or I guess Marty too, maybe third.
Marty's kind of a petty kind of dick. I mean, he does hire someone to kill someone.
That's
kind of bad.
The thing is that Marty's character is pathetic. Ray is like an innocent, like just wants to do good and do what's right and follow his heart, essentially. And he just gets tied up in the wrong stuff. The PI just does everything for money and very low amounts. He's just he's definitely blood hungry.
He is.
I guess maybe you could afford to be more blood hungry back in the day because there was no literally all he does is just wipe the gun once, and then he's good. He's just like, all right, well, that solves the whole cleaning up of the gun, of the murder weapon that I just used to kill this guy.
He doesn't care.
Meanwhile, he was like belching and like smoking, and
he wasn't belching,
putting his fingers everywhere and shitting all over the floors. He was disgusting. This guy, he was horrible. He was really. I mean, the actor that plays him, he's not the most fortunate looking. He looks like a character I would draw that's like all like deformed in the face, but he sells it great because he's just like, who else would take this deal to kill 2 people for $10,000 other than this guy who just has a yellow cowboy suit and is bulging out of his collarbone.
And he values the look too, because at the end, when he's like he knows he's going to be shot at that point.
Yeah.
And he just picks up his hat and puts it on his head like that's the first thing that he has to worry about. He's like, well, gotta get my hat first.
There's also a great scene of him walking to the door where he ends up getting shot, and he just has they have this dead. He's like looking above the camera, and they have this dead shot on his face. Yeah. He's just like.
I don't know if he was panting that much, but yeah.
I remember. I'm so. I mean, we just watched the movie, but in my head I was so into it. I think I exaggerated in my head how overweight and disgusting this guy was, but.
He definitely would have been played by John Goodman if they made it later. I could
see that. Yeah,
he would have been John
Cloverfield, 8 Cloverfield Lane type, that
psycho. Level of John Goodman.
Yeah, like the stoic, but then turns out to be crazy stoicism.
Yeah, he could definitely pull it off. But this guy does great.
No, he does. It's a phenomenal movie. A lot of moments where you're like. I just want to like yell at the characters or shake them because it's just like I said, I facepalmed when he started cleaning up blood and just having blood stains follow him. there was the car moment. I was just like, there's a part where, not to give everything away, but there's like a sniper scene almost, and the fact that the characters are just standing still, and the person who knows what to do in this like situation is like, turn the lights off. The other person he cannot convince to turn the lights off, and then he forgets himself. Like there's just so many scenes where I'm like, there's so many scenes. If you looked over, you would have seen me more. I was just like it was definitely got me in my feelings, because it was so simple that you can easily sink yourself into the world, you know. So yeah. I immediately got invested. Very little characters, not a lot of reoccurring like set pieces or set settings, I guess.
I mean, there was the bar, the house, the penthouse, and the fields. I guess that was pretty much it.
Yeah, it's like it's all very contained. 4 characters, 4 main locations, and it just.
I guess another house, but
yeah. Whatever. And it's really great. Also, they never show anybody finding Marty's body. I just realized Ray buries him in just a random field. He buries him alive. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a great scene there too. It was also another nail biter, but it just was one final nail in like the pathetic life of Julian Marty. Is the character's full name, but everybody just refers to him as Marty.
And why wouldn't you?
He's just. He's getting buried alive, and he's already been almost smashed. He tried to escape. He couldn't escape. He still has the broken finger, and that's bothering him.
Yeah, in the splint.
Bleeding out from his chest, and then he's just in the grave, and the last thing he can do is Ray slips the gun into his pocket, and he pulls it out, and he's like, and it's like Ray backs up. He's like, oh no, and then. And he just like fires like 4 times, and it's just nothing. I think all the shots were used already.
Yeah, it was empty.
The private eye, like there wasn't even anything if you went the whole way around in the revolver. And slowly, there's a great scene where it's just their hands, and Ray just grabs the gun, and just slowly takes it away, very gently. Doesn't grab it from his hand, just kind of like on the head, the little like funnel where you shoot, the pea shooter part.
The pea shooter part? That's what it's called.
Shows how much I know about guns.
The barrel?
Yeah, I guess the barrel, a little bit past the...
Right.
The coin slot holder for the...
The coin slot holder where you put the coin in so that you can fire the bullet?
The coin slot holder equivalent that holds bullets. The bullet holder.
Okay.
It's definitely... The bullet holder is definitely not what that part of the gun is called.
That's okay.
but I was sucked into this movie. I mean, as you could probably tell from the beginning of the recording, I was sputtering a little bit. I was like, I got super caught up, and the finale is just so intense and just crazy. Really, this is a phenomenal movie. I'm so glad you showed me this.
Yeah,
I had never heard of it.
I'm glad I showed it to you too. I'm glad we were able to watch it together, because it was like, I have seen this movie. This is my copy of the movie. I own the movie, and I've only seen it. I've seen it twice before this.
Okay, I was gonna ask.
I saw it once before, once on my own, and then I think I saw it once with my mom and my brother. Right. And I was like, damn, this movie's so good. I gotta show more people.
Yeah.
So I did.
And you better go watch
it. Now I showed even more people on the screen.
Yeah, even if you haven't seen it, still watch the spoilers. You should still go see it, because it's pretty freaking good, guys.
Yeah.
Reminds me of another movie that I do want to show you eventually. It's called Cop with James Wood.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one.
Very simple. Maybe like 3 main characters, similar to this almost, in that regard at least.
Yeah.
Completely different story-wise, but very simple, so you're able to get like really into this character, and he's just, in a way, James Wood in Cop, just playing cop, reminds me a lot of the PI in this. I'll say that. Yeah.
That makes me excited then.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. So, is there anything else you'd want to say about Blood Simple?
No, other than just it's a really high recommendation for both
definitely.
of us.
I give it 2 big thumbs up. I give it a nacho in my mouth.
Ooh.
I mean,
Cheeto,
off-brand. A little cheese doodle.
Yeah. So.
Definitely a great watch.
Go watch it.
Definitely a buy.
Definitely
watch.
Definitely
Definitely a watch.
Okay.
All right. Take it easy, guys. We've been the Show 2.0. That's Peter, and I'm Chris. So,
see you next time.
See ya.
Woo! 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 Oh shit.